Hello students, simple past. Okay, simple past, that means you will find subject and after that the verb also, but on that time you will find that the verb will be in second form. Okay, that means when you will see at first subject and after then verb in second form, on that time you have to understand the sentence is related to simple past tense. Okay, means past continuous tense. That in past continuous tense you will find that the work was going on in past time. Okay, first you will find subject, after that you will find was or were, then you will find verb in fourth form. Okay, and now the third part is third kind of the past tense is past perfect. Okay, when you are making or using this past perfect tense, that means there will be two types of incident. For the first action you have to use the structure of past perfect. That means at first you have to use subject, after then had, and then you have to use verb in third form. Okay, but I've told you that when you are making a sentence related to past perfect, on that time two incidents, just like when I tell you that the bell had rung before I reached the school. That means the action which is completed at first you have to use for that sentence past, a structure of past perfect. That means at first you have to use subject, after then had, then you have to use verb 3, and after then you have to use that part of sentence which is completed after then that part. Just like I've told you that when, that means the bell had rung at first, after then I reached the school. Okay, so first, for the first part you have to use past perfect, and for the second part of action you have to use simple past. So the structure of past perfect tense is that at first you have to use subject, after then had, then you have to use V3, and after that when you are making the second part of the sentence, on that time you have to use subject and verb should be in second form. Okay, and the next or last part of this past tense is past perfect continuous tense. Okay, when you are making a sentence related to past perfect continuous tense, on the time you have to be careful that at first you have to use subject, after then you have to use had been, and then you have to use before. Okay, after then when you want to use since or for, I taught you that you have to use at first for since for point of time, and for period of time. Okay, if you are talking with your friend and all those is about the incident which is occurring, that means which is going on or which is related to present time, so you have to use only, that means on the time you have to keep in your mind that all the structure of present tense. But if you want to use about the past tense, on that time you have to remember, or you have to be very careful when you are making a sentence related to past tense. On the time the structure should be related to past tense. That means for the simple past tense you have to use subject, after then V2. For past continuous tense you have to use subject, and after then was or were, and then you have to use verb in fourth form. And for the past perfect you have to use subject, after then had, that means then after had you have to use V3. If you are using the second part of that incident, on the time you have to use subject and then V2. That means at first you have to use past structure of past perfect, that means subject and had, and then verb in third form. After then you have to use about the second incident subject and V2. And when you are making a sentence, you have to use at first subject, and after then had been, then you have to use verb in fourth form, and after then when you want to use for or since, on the time you have to use for, on the time there should be period of time. Okay, and if you are using point of time, that means on the time you have to use since. So it is very easy for you if you are practicing regularly. If you will do this type of work every day, if you are doing honestly your work, on that time you will be able to speak English. Okay students, thank you.